G'day everyone, welcome to my channel Alchemy Art. Today I'm trying my hand at making a faux reef using spray paints and a foam cleaner. I've never done this before, but I've wanted to try it for quite some time, so I finally got around to giving it a go. I tried just initially on a little canvas as I wasn't sure if I could do this. My first layer of resin is using Artco 1:1 resin, and then I swapped to just resin Oceancote. I've made sure that my board is level on my old table here, because it is not level, the table that is. So all as I have done so far is just spray my canvas with some spray paint, and I didn't really take much notice of brands or anything else or tried to do it needed because this is experimental. So there's a bit of texture paint here and a light blue turquoisey colour into a darker colour. I'll mix up some resin. I'll just use some Artco artist resin. Okay, I'll be back in a minute and I'll have my PPE on, and the first step is just to put the resin on and let that dry. My resin is all mixed up and I'm just elevating the canvas on some little cups to get it off the table, and then the resin can drip down the sides if it needs to and onto my silicone mat. It's only clear resin, so I made up about, I think, 80 mils, and I heat it with my heat gun once I've poured it on to soften it, and then spread it all out with my hand, going over the sides and coating the whole canvas entirely in a thin layer of the resin. When the whole canvas was fully coated, I decided to add a couple of shells here and there across the front of where the water would come in, and also I added a bit of a darker sand colour in and around the shells. I popped any bubbles with my butane torch and then covered it up overnight under a food tent. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll set up everything and give the faux reef technique a go. I'm outside and I have my PPE on. I have some white gloss paint by Rust-Oleum and some foam cleaner. My first try with the foam cleaner, I'm actually too close, and I also probably would not use a piece of paper or card next time. It makes too much of a hard line. Because I'm too close, it's come out too thick and I haven't got the effect I wanted closer to the shoreline. I tried again with the foam cleaner, standing back a little bit, quickly put on the white spray paint, quickly wash it all off again with clear water, and this is a little bit better. I'm getting more of a faux reef in the background. And the third time I try standing all the way up, and the foam cleaner has come out a little bit more splattered, which was what I was after. Put the gold spray on, wash it off, and I'm finally happy. As soon as my canvas was completely dry, I decided to try to do some waves. I'm using some white paste that I made up for myself well over a year ago, just to see how it goes with the Oceancote. I've also got some clear made up, and I have a little bit of aquamarine from Harry and Wilma that I had left over from another project nearby. First of all, I lay down my clear, then the very transparent aquamarine colour. I heated it up a little bit with my heat gun to soften it. When that was all softened, I spread it all out as evenly as I could with my gloved hand. Pop any bubbles with my little butane torch. Then I lay down some clear where I wanted the front wave to go and used a popsicle stick to put down little bits of white. The Just Resin Oceancote is quite a thick resin, so initially I tried doing several waves in the one pour, and I sort of reworked it a few times, putting down more clear, putting down more white, blowing it out with my heat gun, running the butane over it to break up the white and create the lacing, and in the end I just couldn't get it to go how I wanted. I think a lot of the reasoning that I couldn't get it to do what I was hoping it would do is my inexperience with Oceancote. I haven't used it very much in the past, and I certainly haven't used it for well over a year, so that was likely a big part of it. But you know, it's all a learning curve, and at this stage when it wasn't working, you have a couple of choices. You can wrap a baby wipe around your finger, spray it with isopropyl alcohol, wipe off a section you don't like, wipe it totally off and redo it, or do what I did, was kept trying and then just decided I needed to walk away. I let it cure overnight, and tomorrow I'll try again. I'm going to re-pour this, but I might do the waves in steps like I usually do. I just do a little bit of white on its own and clear at the back. I've mixed up the Oceancote again, and this time I am using the same white mix that I had in the first layer with my own white paste, but I have the wave for this layer starting where the water just meets the sand. So I'm laying down my clear, and I use the heat gun again to soften it all out. I'll spread it out again with my gloved hand, lay down my white at the front of where the clear starts so it will touch the clear as well as on top of the first layer, which is cured underneath. Then you use your heat gun on, I prefer a low heat and a low blow, and hold my heat gun almost parallel to the board and aim the blow just in behind where you lay down your white so it goes up and skims across the surface of your resin. Once you're happy with how you have blown it out, the butane is used to help pop any lingering bubbles and also to break up any of the white. You just need to make sure, regardless of the heat of your heat gun and your butane, that it's not left sitting in one area as you move over your piece. You've got to constantly move and move fast, otherwise you will burn your resin. The other thing of note is the type of nozzle I have on my heat gun. The one I use is a concentrator nozzle. It's also known as a wedding cake nozzle. Some people prefer the one that looks a bit like a shovel or a platypus bill, but I have more control with the concentrator nozzle. The resin and the white lacing will continue to move a little bit as it cures, but this is how it looks now. On to my final wave. This time the wave will be where the faux coral reef section is and back from there. It's the same process, so I'm not going to talk you through it again, and I'm only using the clear and the white again for this layer. When this is completely cured, you can leave it as is, but because you've used a paste and a white paste at that, it's best to do a final top coat with a good UV resistance. So I'll probably do that at a later stage, but not included in this video, and that will help protect your area for longer and decrease the yellowing of the resin over time. One final tip with laying down your white is to always start it off your piece like I am here. That will allow any blobs to fall down and then go across where you want to put it. The Oceancote resin, you don't need to wait any period of time before you do your white. Some other resins you do. You have to wait for the resin to thicken a little bit before it'll work well, but not with the Oceancote. When you first start trying out to do waves, you'll likely have quite a few failures, and it really is a matter of setting your room temperature to the recommended heat setting. The Oceancote works well between 23 and 25 degrees Celsius. It can also be affected by your humidity and climate, so you might need to warm it up a little bit before you mix it. if you're in a cold area. Me, I'm in a very warm area, so I don't have my heat gun set on a high setting for heat, but you might need yours a little bit warmer than mine. It really is all practice and working it out for yourself. And as I said, if you make a mistake, you can always use a baby wipe and a bit of alcohol on the baby wipe and wipe it off like I just did then. This is a close-up of how that last wave looks immediately after I've blown it out. It will continue to move, as I said previously, and I'll show you the end result shortly. I'm pleased with how my first try went with this faux reef, and I know now not to stand too close, otherwise you get that thicker line like I have here of the reef effect. I'm going to try with a bit of texture paste on another canvas next, so I hope you'll join me then. But for today, thank you for watching and bye.